Africa, the dark continent, an interestingly shaped landmass inhabited by wildlife, flowers of divine nature, a wide range of natural resources, and a
It's hard as hell to walk through, bro. No cat. Like, seeing everybody like this at such a young age, like, damn, like, look at my mans right there, though. Look at that boy. That boy's strong, boy.
Holy shit! Give me 1K. Huh? Give him cash. Bring cash. You have to drop cash unless you're not going to leave this place. Wait! Hold on! Hold the fuck on! Hold on, bro! Hold on! Hold on! Nah, I don't know you, bro. I don't know you, bro. What the fuck? Let me wind this. Oh shit! Let me wind this. Fuck! Yo. It's all love. 5K, no. Give him. No, you know what you're gonna do. You have all the cash. You know what you're gonna do, huh?
I mean, take a look around the continent. Parts of our home is doing a great job in replicating the structural build of the West. In other words, we are developing and making our way to the top. The true question here is, are we? Are any of these developments worth celebrating when millions of us still live in poverty? Healthcare systems are trash. Education, trashier. Most of us still hate the color of our skin and walk around without the slightest knowledge of our history. The idea of a cursed generation has been a concept I have been trying to debunk for the last couple of months, and this is where we both dive into my thoughts on what we conceptualize as a generational curse. We can all agree that Earth is one complex hill of rock with its vast array of life forms from microscopic bacteria to complex mammals. Gaia contains ecosystems that are interconnected with species relying on each other for survival. I am not sure if this is an experience exclusive to Rita, but sometimes I get thoughts that remind me of the temporary nature of my existence. It is so easy for us to forget just how fragile we are. All of these inherited concepts take us away from our basic human function, which is simply to be. It is not only the phenomena of the earth that blows my mind. Oh my God, human beings! Human beings have created the world, technology, science, money. What we have done with earth by creating the world out of it is just as complex as nature. Our world is made up of constructs. Every single aspect of human creation is made up of ideas. The premise of our individual realities is created by someone else's mind. All beliefs have been conjured up and brought to life through thought and imagination. You know, soldiers, for example, are programmed to view the opposing rule as the enemy. Innocent people suffer in the process. War is interesting. It displays the very nature of lengths a programmed mind could go. You may find yourself in a difficult situation, unsure of how to navigate it, and in those moments, it's tempting to shift blame. You can fall into a victim mentality. It's natural to seek someone to blame, especially when you're facing challenges that echo the life patterns of your parents. From there, it's not uncommon to conclude, I must be cursed. But before we accept this idea, let's unpack the term generational curse. What do we mean by a curse? Traditionally, a curse implies some kind of deliberate action, perhaps a ritual or an intention meant to bring harm. If we claim to be affected by a generational curse, the real question becomes, where is this curse coming from? Why are we so quick to label patterns of alcoholism, poverty, or sickness as curses? This highlights a higher issue. The chaos we often blame on supernatural forces is frequently caused by human action or ignorance. The same applies to broader examples of suffering. The devastation in Congo, the conflicts in Gaza, or even the moment I was robbed last year. These weren't caused by curses or divine forces, but by human action. Much of the havoc and pain in the world can be traced back to human decisions. It's like how people are quick to divert from a gullible experience. I literally know a human being that was scammed because he thought that he was purchasing a diamond without the correct tools for that purchase. He automatically became a diamond inspector and could smell that the rock he was being sold was a diamond, and he gave someone 60K. He was blaming the devil or blaming the other person for using witchcraft. And I was like, nah, brother, no, you're dumb. You did not use logic. It's not the other person, it's you. What kind of harm or wrongdoing would one have to commit to be cursed? And if we think about poverty, can the lack of money, especially in an unjust world, truly be classified as a curse? Consider diseases like cancer, which are caused by a complex interplay of biological, environmental, and genetic factors. Is it fair or even logical to disregard these factors and attribute such an illness to a curse? The African community's thought processes as they manifest in urban settings deserve deeper study. I'm starting to question whether the ways of the West are inherently incompatible with our ways of being. Must one completely overshadow the other, or is there space for our perspectives to thrive alongside Western systems? There is a need to reclaim and redefine our philosophies in ways that respect both their roots and their relevance in today's world. The term generational curse has existed for a very long time and has deep historical roots with different ties to Christianity. It also exists within the historical colonial and slavery context, ancient and modern African belief systems as well, and it was also prominent during the European medieval times. We can trace mentions of the term generational curse in the Old Testament when preachers of the word bring forth this rhetoric. They often turn to the book of Exodus and Numbers. Both books are in the Old Testament. I am not a scholar. However, why is this perspective still being shared and believed in when we all know that the existence and message of Christ shifts paradigms and brings forth a more uplifting narrative? Humans have always sought to make sense of their misfortunes, crafting explanations to navigate the chaos of life. Imagine how our ancestors interpreted extended months of no rain or infertile soil that hindered their ability to grow food. These negative experiences, lacking the scientific understanding we have today, were often seen as curses. Such beliefs gave structure to their struggles, helping them cope with the uncertainty of their existence. There is also the idea that bad character brings about terrible consequences, a moral framework suggesting that wrongdoing eventually leads to suffering. But if that's true, how do we explain the enduring prosperity of massive corporations that built on systems of exploitation that still exist today? This contradiction raises questions about the fairness of the universe. The success of such corporations can often be attributed to systemic advantages that created self-perpetuating cycles of power and privilege. Meanwhile, those who suffered under these systems were left with generational poverty while they were creating generational wealth, which some might interpret as a curse because we're not getting the money. Just give me my money. Are misfortunes truly the result of personal failings, or are they more often the byproduct of larger systems of oppression and inequality? In Africa and indigenous belief systems, the idea of generational curses align with the belief in ancestral spirits and the consequences of dishonoring them. Ancestral wrongdoing or failure to perform rituals could lead to misfortune. In many cultures, illness is seen as not just a physical manifestation but also a spiritual imbalance. Medieval Europe was a time of intense superstition where people often attributed unexpected events such as crop failures, illnesses, and death to supernatural forces. These forces were believed to be controlled by witches, demons, and evil spirits. In a society where the church held significant power, people were often taught to fear the devil and his agents, including witches, who were thought to possess the ability to curse individuals or entire communities. Witch hunts became widespread in Europe, particularly in the late medieval and early modern periods. Traditional healers, midwives, and herbalists were often among the first targets of witch hunts. I faced some technical issues, so this is the next day. Bear with me. Bear with me. I know it's chaotic. Hey, we're human beings. Life is chaotic. Let's just go with the flow, right? The idea and belief in a generational curse is not exclusive to Christianity or African belief systems. It is a concept that resonates across many cultures, including those in Asia. In traditional Chinese culture, the actions of ancestors are believed to influence the fate of their descendants, where unethical actions by one generation can impact the next. Similarly, in Indian culture, Hinduism's concept of karma suggests that ancestral misdeeds can create difficulties for future generations. These shared beliefs across cultures reveal a universal human desire to explain hardship and maintain harmony through interpretation, and practices differ based on spiritual and cultural context. So human beings credit their misfortune and bad luck to evil spirits. It's normal, but at the same time, I feel like we do that as a way of shifting blame and accountability from our actions, forgetting that we're the ones living life. I understand that most of us are unable to make sense of why our lives are the way they are, but I feel as though when we attribute our misfortunes and bad luck to deities and unknown forces, we are shifting the blame and also suggesting that we do not have power to change our paradigms or change our situation. It is a mindset that automatically just gives away your power and your sense of control, which I believe is a limiting belief system which should remain in the past. It does not serve us in our current reality. That purpose does not fit within the confines of modern day reality, because there is a whole lot of knowledge and research and philosophies that have debunked this generational curse theory. Personally, it does not work for me in my life. I could easily attribute my life's journey, the bad events that took place in my life, to the fact that we have a so-called witch in the family. And black Africans, black Africans, most of us have that idea where we believe that auntie this and that is bewitching you, so do not go to her house and eat her food, etc., etc. I think that it's time for us to sit those witches down and literally have conversations with them rather than rumors being spread around. It's as though we fear evil, and with the life that I have lived, I have little to no room for fear. Africans get so lost in superstition that we fear to live life now in the present moment. And I was actually having a conversation about this with a friend of mine yesterday, and we're just having a conversation about the African family in general and how most of our beliefs do not serve us and work as a disservice, especially to the younger generation. And you find the younger generation tapping into their own ideologies, things that align with what they'd like to do in this lifetime, and you get the family shocked because it's just a wide gap of information that wasn't presented to those that came before us, our elders, right, in this sense. And they struggle to accept the younger generation for who they are, forgetting that times are different. At home, everyone would mention how my stepmom is the cause of our misfortune. And I could have taken that narrative and ran with it and blamed her for the rest of my life until, like, this is me in high school. I was like, no, I'm living my life. I've never met this lady, number one. She knows me, yeah, sure, but I don't know her. So why would I give away my power to a human being that has no idea what my reality is like? If I carry on with this narrative, then it will serve as a disservice to me, and I will forever not be held accountable for the decisions that I make, for the choices that I make. And at the end of the day, this is a life that I am living. Nobody else is living this life. So if I switch on and believe that she has control over my life, regardless of whether she has a picture of me wrapped around, buried underneath her household, I don't care, because if I believe that she has that power, then it will work. This is something I always preach on this channel, that nobody has the power to alter your reality unless you give them that power. And how do you give them that power? By believing that that is the case. You're not cursed. You just need to break free from the program from your formative years. I see my nephews and nieces, and I've realized that children don't do what you tell them. They do exactly what you do, exactly what you do. If you believe that you are very similar to your mom, that's only because she's the blueprint, and you need to find your way to navigate out of that character, out of that lifestyle, out of that reality, and find your own balance. I've been long done with this. I just thought I should freestyle a conclusion, which I should never do ever again, because my mind cannot hold thought. I need to write my thoughts down in order for me to properly articulate what I am thinking. Listen, Thank you so much for watching this video, especially if you made it through all the way to the end of the video. Like, I appreciate you, bruv. Listen, I appreciate you so much. This is a journey. This is a journey between you and me. I know I have my tendencies of disappearing and coming back. Hey, life is tough. Life is tough. Life is tough. Especially in the third world. But I'm going to be showing face. I think that's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. Have yourself a lovely day or evening, afternoon after watching this video. You deserve it. You deserve happiness. You deserve love. You deserve peace. You deserve blessings upon blessings. Not because you watched this video, but mainly because you watched this video. But because you exist. Simply because you exist. And I appreciate you. Ciao.